WhereMyMomsAt. Raising kids, cleaning shit.
Hi, Mommy. I'm listening to episode 109, and I had to chime in on the bankruptcy conversation. When I was 9, I moved away from my lunatic parents to go to college. I took out shitty school loans, got an apartment, and started putting everything on credit cards. Even though I worked full time, I was never able to get caught up on my bills. I maxed my credit cards and would only pay the minimum. I attempted to clear this up by getting a consolidated loan from my credit union, but defaulted on that as well. Little did I know that a credit union will come after you for their money. After being threatened with a lawsuit, I had to file Chapter 11. I borrowed money to pay my court fees and got it taken care of. I spent years getting my credit back in order. I got a car loan with a 25% plus interest rate and a credit card. Even years later, when my husband and I bought our first home, I had to provide all the bankruptcy information as well as a written letter explaining the situation to our lender. It was super embarrassing. And I thought I would never get away from it, but the bankruptcy fell off my credit around year 7. Now I'm on top of all our finances, and I use my story as a cautionary tale. Get your fucking money /taxes/credit cards in order, people. Trust me. Pay your bills on time and talk to your kids about money. Love you, mommies and booth boys. AJ, that just reminds me I got a parking ticket that I need to pay before that penalty goes up. I'm going to make a little note right now. Yes, AJ, I agree with you. I was lucky in that I indirectly got to see bad finances through what my parents, my mother and my stepfather were doing. They're both gone now, so I can openly talk about that. My mother stole my credit when I was 11 or 12 and opened up several credit cards in my name.
Oh my God.
You didn't know that one? That's a good one.
I know that one. Familiar.
Yeah, you know that one, Annie. Done that. Parents done that. And they had to file bankruptcy when I was in high school. So I got to see it firsthand. And the reason that had happened, there was a lot of consumer debt, but just taking out more credit than they could afford, extending themselves beyond what was reasonable for them. And my stepdad was a bit of a criminal, but keep on top of it. Talk to your kids about credit and keeping your credit score decent. That is a big deal. And I feel so bad for people whose parents don't help them through college. I mean, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how kids do it. You just go into debt, severely into debt. I was lucky that I had half loans and then my parents were helping me, but oy vey, what a nightmare. Yeah. So 7 years, I believe, and it clears up, but my God, the credit cards are the worst. If you can't consolidate all that credit card debt onto one and then pay that back, that's the move. That's what everyone says you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I remember like when I was in college, like there would be job fairs and then there would be tables from all the banks, like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and they're like, "Hey, you look like you could use a credit card," and they would just have these kids sign up for credit cards, and no one would be educated on like, "Holy shit, I have fucking $20K. Let's go to fucking Vegas," or whatever the fuck the limit was.
Which ends up being $40K after interest,
right?
That you actually owe. And I can't tell you how many girls I grew up with who, you get a credit card when you're 18. And I know girls that spent so much money on fancy handbags, going on trips, travel, and like bullshit, like not just college, but bullshit. And then having a ton of consumer debt. It's really an easy trap to fall into when you're young. And I get it.
Yeah,
listen,
it's not free
everyone's
money.
Done it.
It's not
it's
free money, Christina.
Ugh. I mean, when Tom and I got married, we had credit card debt, but that's because we were becoming comedians and we had to put flights on the credit card. Clubs don't fucking fly you out or put you up, so that's a business expense.
Right.
That was harsh, but we paid it all off.
Yeah, and
the key is to pay those fuckers off.
It's the whole sometimes people get tricked by minimum payment. You're like, oh shit, I only need to pay $20-$40. The thing is, minimum payment is a sometimes treat. You do that if you're in a bind. You do that if it's like, you're making big purchases and shit, and you're like, I can't pay this all at once right now. But the goal should be to pay off your credit card every month. Because that's 100%. How you slip into debt.
100%.
The
minimum is nothing. So think about the minimum as like you're just paying the interest. You're not paying the principal. You're just paying the penalty fees essentially. So get ahead of it. Credit cards are the fucking devil. Yeah, also, if you're going to use, sorry, what, sweetie?
No, I was going to say me and Sean know of a guy who won't be named, but we definitely know of a dude who did this while he was with us. And we told him this, like we specifically said, don't do this, bro. You're in he was in 4K debt, and that's a hell of a lot for us at least. And he was talking about
I was
how
going to
he
say
wanted-
that's it, because I've heard. I think Tom and I got way worse than that,
Right,
and I think
right.
I've been in worse than that
For-
as a 20-something-year-old.
for sure. But I'm saying that's where he started. So we're like, hey
Yeah.
man, don't fucking start.
Don't go.
It's going to snowball. Don't do this.
It does,
Because he was
so
talking about
fast.
buying a fucking Subaru Rex or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna get a Rex STI, and it's gonna be dope, and like whatever, dude. I'll do payments. It's gonna be fine. I can get it. I still have good credit, even though I'm in like this debt. So it's like it kind of doesn't matter. I'm like, dude, you're so stupid right now. Please, like, you gotta hear us out. You can't do this yet. And sure enough,
And
I
how'd it
don't think
go?
he went and got the Rex, but he went and married a girl in 2 months, and had continuous credit. He ended up being closed. One of his credit cards closed. He had another one, lost his job. I mean, it was tragedy after tragedy. And yeah, now he's in like, I think 20 plus.
At
20
least that's how it
plus.
starts, and that's the beginning. By the way,
Right.
I've been in 20 plus. When I graduated from college, I was 25,000 in the hole, and this is This is 99. I can't even imagine what college debt looks like now for a kid that's going to the University of San Francisco that I went to. And again, I had scholarships, I had grants, I had fucking everything, and I graduated with 25 grand in debt. And then consumer debt on top of that, because now you're graduated, but you're making what, minimum wage, really? You're new in the world. So you can't afford shit in life. Of course, you're going to put it on credit cards. And then it's just a spiral. It's like it's this trap of being in your 20s, and it's really, really hard. So, I mean, should just try to minimize that damage if you can. Don't buy the consumer shit. Try not to if you can.
Yeah,
but I mean,
don't get the Rex STI, man. Get a
don't
Camry,
get
chill
Yeah.
out, have a
Stay
couple
poor.
have a couple years where you're in an automatic, okay, and then go for the dream car once you're at zero.
100%. One of the things I did to make my dreams come true, and I always tell young people this in your 20s, if you're working towards a dream, keep your overhead low, keep the fixed costs low, meaning get rent, fixed amount. Your rent should be equal to 1 week of pay. That's the rule of thumb, right?
Yep.
So let's say your rent is $800 a month. Bam, perfect. Stay there. Don't overspend on rent. Keep the rent fixed. Keep the car payment fixed. If you're leasing, whatever, if it's a write-off, sometimes it can be depending on what business you're in, keep that low as fuck. Keep your monthlies low, the fixed costs of your existence low. In America, it is cheap to buy clothes and food. That is fucking cheap here. Okay. You can go to H&M and get a whole wardrobe for $300. So there's no reason to be spending thousands on Gucci bullshit.
100%. Anybody that's ever asked me like, hey dude, that shirt or whatever, or that hat that you got in that episode, it's so cool. Where do I buy it? I'm like, dude, I got this at GameStop for like $10. Yeah. It's not a big,
is
you
America.
don't have to fucking pay $3,000 to get a good pair of pants.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you
H&M.
there's no need to in America. The disposable, it's an unethical practice, obviously, this disposable fashion, but who gives a fuck? So Chinese children are making my clothes at H&M, and it looks great. And it looks better than a lot of the designer stuff. So yeah, so don't worry about that.
Hell yeah.
It's styling. And get a cheap car until you can afford to upgrade. Don't upgrade until you can fucking afford it. Tom and I were poor for, I mean, goddamn, a decade. He and I were just grinding, as broke as a joke, grinding. And we watched our friends get mortgages and get married and have children. And we just put it off until we were ready. So keep your head down, little ones. I know you're listening. If you're trying to get ahead, keep your monthly nut low. Get it? Your nut. And
Got 'em.
then
You got to keep the high nut, not the low nut.
keep the high nut, keep your monthly nut low, children. At one point I was living like a fucking warrior. I'll tell you what my lowest monthly nut was. I was living in downtown Los Angeles in the Rampart division in a 1-bedroom apartment. I had my monthly nut down to $2,800 a month, I believe. That's how little I had to make to live and survive when I was about 28 years old, $2,800. And that's how I lived.
That ain't bad.
Isn't that wild?
Hell yeah.
Who's there? Someone at my door? Kill Bitsy. Get it. Don't you fuck with my Brussels Griffon. She's my guard dog. You fucking kill, bitch. Kill.
Where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where My Mom's At podcast with Christina P.